Hi everyone, good morning. It is 6 o'clock here on your Friday morning. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Thanks so much for starting off your Friday with us here on Up with KREM. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is telling us about the weekend forecast. And Thomas, it'll still be nice even though it is a little bit cooler than it has been.
Yeah, it will be a bit cooler for Father's Day, but if I know all the dads in the inland Northwest, you probably will grill no matter what the weather is. And yeah, it should be great grilling weather either way, but it will be a bit on the cooler side. Today, quite a bit windier than it has been these past couple of days, but at least the sun is out after a little blip of some rain at about 3 o'clock this morning in Spokane. That is now passed through Lookout Pass. And even the rain that we did get barely even made the ground wet. And if you slept through it, well, for as far as you're concerned, it probably didn't even rain overnight where you're at. 57 will be our morning temperatures at about 8 a.m. The afternoon in the 70s. That is a little bit cooler than yesterday, but it will be a decent bit windier than it has been the last 48 hours.
This morning, Spokane Valley Councilman Al Merkel is facing another investigation for alleged misconduct and violating city regulations.
Councilwoman Jessica Yeager formally issued a complaint about Merkel's behavior this week. Yeager accuses Merkel of using a private Nextdoor account for city business, which is a violation of Washington's Public Records Act. She also claims Merkel blocked social media users and deleted posts, which Yeager says hinders transparency and public engagement. Last month, Merkel was cleared of legal wrongdoing in a separate investigation. Merkel responded to the complaint saying in an email, quote, "This is a continuation of a politically motivated attempt by the city staff and council to distract the public from the issues that really matter."
In the meantime, the Spokane City Council held a meeting on budget proposals yesterday. The council is now considering eliminating a position in the police department, which would save the city about $114,000. At the same time, they're considering new purchases for the department, which include 3 undercover vehicles, Narcan supply, and a new crime scene scanner. Other things discussed included spending $50,000 for equipment in order to keep up with bike lane maintenance.
This morning, police are looking into why a man attacked a Good Samaritan trying to help him in East Central on Saturday. SPD says the woman was driving by Napa and Trent Avenue when 28-year-old Robert Fisher stumbled into the middle of traffic. The woman called 911 and started to help Fisher. Police say soon after, Fisher started strangling the woman. Another driver then pulled Fisher off of her. Fisher was arrested and booked into the Spokane County Jail for second-degree assault.
This morning, we now know the identity of the woman who was killed in a hit and run in downtown Spokane on Tuesday. The Spokane County Medical Examiner identified the woman as 78-year-old Janet Mann. Tuesday afternoon, police say they found Mann lying face down in the road at Brown and Main. She was taken to the hospital but sadly died from her injuries. The medical examiner ruled her death an accident. Now, the driver left the accident and has not been found at this time. We did reach out to Mann's family, and they gave us the following statement saying Janet was, quote, well known as a passionate advocate for children and parents. She leaves a lasting legacy in the field of attachment theory. Most of all, she made every day better for anyone lucky enough to be around her. We are devastated by the loss of her and grateful she was ours. And a Spokane man was killed in a plane crash in Clearwater County on Wednesday morning. Now his family and friends are remembering the man they call a great father and coach.
KREM 2's Nathan Hyun spoke with family and friends who knew him best.
Well, it's a very sad story. A well-known member of Spokane's lacrosse community, Brian O'Rourke, died after crashing his plane in Clearwater County. The Clearwater County Sheriff's Office also tells me 2 of his sons were in the plane with him. Those 2 sons were taken by helicopter to Sacred Heart Hospital. Zach Malahan has known Brian O'Rourke for more than 5 years.
His departure will leave a giant hole in the community.
O'Rourke's passing still hasn't hit him.
And it's still sinking in. It's not something that, you can really comprehend.
Late Wednesday morning, the Clearwater County Sheriff's Office says they located a small Cessna plane that crashed in a remote area. The Sheriff's Office found O'Rourke's body in that plane.
Brian's one of those guys that he transforms boys into men through the coaching process, and he builds character.
Friends and family describe O'Rourke as a family man who was well invested in the lacrosse community. O'Rourke was an assistant lacrosse coach at Gonzaga Prep. He also was a number of boards in the community, including Spokane Youth Lacrosse and the Chesterton Academy of Notre Dame in North Spokane. Malahan was founding board members with O'Rourke.
It's going to take 6 to 8 people to fill in the holes that, all of the jobs that Brian did. He was that kind of guy with his passion and his zeal and his energy.
Malahan describes O'Rourke as a selfless man who loved everyone.
He's not somebody to blame somebody else. He will take responsibility, and just his ability, to forgive and love people.
A statement from the O'Rourke family to KREM 2 says, quote, Brian was an adored husband, father, friend, coach, and mentor in Spokane. His passion for lacrosse began simply as a love of the game, but as he had his own children, he saw competitive sport as a means to unite mind, body, and soul on a path to virtue. The family tells me that both sons who are in the plane with Brian are okay. They were discharged from the hospital. In the newsroom, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
It is 6:06. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. The man who contracted the first case of hantavirus in Washington state this year has died. The infectious disease is spread by rodents like deer mice. The man is the 19th known death from the virus in the state since 1985. People can be infected by breathing in dust contaminated from the urine, droppings, or nests of infected rodents. Symptoms show up 1 to 8 weeks after exposure and may include fever, muscle aches, and more. This morning, the ground has officially been broken on the City of Cheney's new aquatic center. Voters passed a $13 million bond last August to replace the city's existing pool facility. The new 5,000 square foot pool house will also have a community meeting room. The facility will also feature a 25-yard lap pool, a lazy river, water slide, and much more. The project is set to be complete by June of next year. And this morning, the Idaho Board of Education just approved 1 new degree at the University of Idaho and 2 at Boise State University. There are also plans to build Idaho's second healthcare-related school in Moscow. The board approved the U of I to add an online Master of Science in Gerontology. The new degrees at BSU include a Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and a degree in Public Service Leadership. Today is National Flag Day. It commemorates the adoption of the United States flag on June 14th of 1777. This morning at 10 a.m. at the Rathdrum Lions Club, they will host a flag retirement ceremony. You can take your old American flag there to be properly disposed. That's a look at your morning rush.
All evacuations for the brush fire that sparked in South Spokane County this week have been dropped. According to officials, it is no longer a threat. The Grove fire burned 74 acres and is now 25% contained. Fire officials say at least 7 outbuildings burned down along with several vehicles. In the meantime, in Chelan County, the Pioneer fire there continues to grow. It's now burned more than 1,700 acres and is 0% contained. This fire is burning on the north shore of Lake Chelan. And this morning, there are new evacuation orders in place. According to Chelan County Emergency Management, there are now level 2 evacuations for the area on that map that is shaded in yellow. It's kind of in the middle of your screen right there. Level 1 evacuations are issued for the areas that are outlined in green, and those level 3 go now evacuations are shown in that red. They remain in place this morning for the Rex Creek area.
Take you outside. We're going to be forecasting the winds for the next 2 days, and as the winds increase, that does elevate the fire danger for the inland northwest. As we get underway for today, our temperatures are actually quite warm. Kicking off this Friday, we're at 58 Spokane and 59 already in Coeur d'Alene and even 55 in Deer Park. After yesterday, you were at 36 degrees. That is a lot warmer this morning compared to yesterday. We had the cloud cover through the overnight hours. It does help there. But it's the winds today and tomorrow that will be in play for the inland northwest. A lot going on weather-wise just because we're undergoing these changes with cooler temperatures for the weekend, the winds in play these next 2 days, and we even have a couple rain or thunderstorm chances for both Saturday and Sunday. Those Saturdays looking a lot better overall. So coming up, we're going to detail all of those impacts that are going to be for the inland northwest and just when those winds will be at their strongest.